Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Double hands. We did a double wave today. It's because it's Friday, right?
Yes, yes.
I love your blue jacket.
Thank you.
You look great. Tundu, you look lovely.
Oh, thank you, my darling.
Matching with
You have joined the poets.
Yes. I'm learning by the day. I have to. Good morning, Rufai, our poet.
Oji, you look posh.
Okay, great. I like that word.
And you drive
it
a
starts
Porsche.
with a P, right?
You drive a Porsche. You look posh and you drive a Porsche.
No, I don't.
Is that what you drive?
I don't.
In fact, when I see you, I think of a blessed assurance.
Oh, goodness. Look at Tundu's face. Thank you, Rufai.
Tundu is protesting here.
No, she's not. She's really surprised.
I share.
Yes, she always does.
Tundu, you are your excellency.
She is, really is. She really is. Well, happy Friday. And good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Nigeria. The national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has come under intense criticism over a lawsuit filed by a former managing director of Alpha Beta Consulting, a firm responsible for the tracking and reconciling taxes paid to the Lagos state government. The former managing director of the firm, Oladapo Akpara, filed the suit alleging that he was forcefully removed from the company in which he claims to own 30% shares and was replaced by Tinubu's former commissioner of finance. In the lawsuit, Mr. Akpara said since his illegal removal, he had been denied his dividends and asked the court to order full payment of his entitlements. In addition, he alleged that the company was being used for massive corruption purposes, including tax evasion, bribery of government officials, diversion of funds, and money laundering. Akpara had in a petition to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission accused the company of a 1 billion naira fraud. He claims the EFCC did not act on the petition and that Tinubu boasted that the then acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, would protect him. Well, let's take a reaction from lawyer and author Reno Omokri, who wrote, if after Dakpo Akpara's petition and lawsuit, the EFCC does not investigate and detain Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, then not only should we start #EndEFCC as we're doing End Sars, but the EFCC must apologize to all Yahoo boys. Their crime is not up to Tinubu's. Reno Omokri and his controversial tweets. I thought this was quite uncalled for. I mean, Yahoo boys, how are you comparing that? I mean, I thought that was quite unnecessary, but that tweet alone has garnered over maybe even 2,000 comments. A lot of people are reacting to that tweet alone because obviously he's, stirred up some sort of sentiments against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But we all know the story about Alpha Beta. This gentleman, Oladapo, had been talking about this whole scam since 2018. Remember, he put out a series of tweets claiming that the company was a criminal money laundering operating company. And he had been talking about the fact that he started the company by himself and he presented the company to the former governor, Tinubu, and that Tinubu had insisted that 70% of the shares should go to people under his control. I mean, I know that we cannot talk on unsubstantial claims because right now it's in the court. But one trend that came after this whole tweet was the fact that, people were talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not even talking about End Sars, knowing that everyone, including the vice president of Nigeria, has also talked about, End Sars, and he claims to be the father of democracy. That was one tweet that I thought was, quite helpful in the whole.
Well, yes, Oji. Generally, I don't like talking about people. I'll talk about the issues. Right. And as you said, this is sub judice at the moment. But the issues that have come from this and really shouldn't be ignored are several. Anybody working in Lagos and paying taxes in Lagos would be miffed, to say the least, about a story like this. But for now, it's just a story.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Akpara, like every other Nigerian, has the right to approach the courts for any harm or that he feels has been done to him. But is he not concerned at all that he comes across by his own claims as complicit?
Yes, he also said that the EFCC should investigate him as well.
Yes, because, so those are my issues in the whole thing.
He doesn't mind. He talked about that in 2018, that he doesn't mind being...
Well, he's indicting himself.
We're still towing the line of, looking at the issues.
Yes.
Because really, we don't have all the facts.
Right.
What has been published is a writ of summons provided by Tade Padiola, who is counsel to the Kpakpara of Infinity Systems. And that has been published everywhere within the media. And we don't have the opinion of the other side. All of that is the responsibility of the court to determine what the truth is. You are also right, this story is not new. It's been there since 2018 with the tweets that you referred to. You recall that at a point, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think, also appeared before the Code of Conduct Tribunal on a number of issues, but it was not, that was a closed matter at that time. So the Kpakpara now has brought up this matter again. Well, I think, one, the issues involved, the failure of partnership. Okay, they had a contractual relationship together, and then things went wrong. And if you look at his own narrative, he continually accepted whatever was thrown at him, even when he was demoted.
Yes.
Right? And he was even replaced. He was, until he now said he was looking into the books of the company. That was his original idea, which he claims that the governor hijacked. You know, when I read all of that, I said, well, I mean, you probably are a victim of your own omissions. That's one. The second issue that he raises is moral. It's a moral issue. Because at the time he said he proposed Alpha Beta, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State in 2002. And he gave the impression that the then governor more or less hijacked the business by putting proxies in charge. Three, he raised the issue about his protest to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And now he was told that nothing will come out of that. But I think, let us just say with all of this, either the moral issue that is raised or the partnership issue that is raised, that now that it is in the court, we should allow the court to do its job. Let us see how it goes. And as for the people who are politicizing it and using it as an opportunity to call up the name of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think that's very cheap politics. If people go into business together, you know, they can have disagreements. And in any case, in all of those documents, all that is coming from the Kpakpara are just mere allegations. He will need to go and prove those allegations. And that is why I think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not deserve the kind of, crucifixion that I've been seeing on social media. People should just realize that, look, sometimes somebody can come up and begin to say things. And all of this is coming because you must also look at the timing. When there is heavy politicking in the country, when there are speculations about the political future of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I think people should refrain from joining, this narrative that seems to be tainted. We all should just be careful. We should not constitute ourselves into an alternative court or engage in what is called trial by media.
The court of public opinion.
Yes, because you don't know how all of this went, because the public opinion is so tainted, is so tendentious, and it's often very unfair.
Rufai, your take on the story?
The case is in court. Let the court have its time. Let investigations be done and let the judgments be given. It's as simple as that. I don't believe in people calling all sorts of names and doing all sorts because the court has not decided on it. And that's why we have a court system in this country that prevails over issues like this. If it's a business matter, yes, let them prevail. But to a large extent, I don't want to say this so that it won't look I'm judgmental or I'm siding with one person. I would just say let the court prevail in all of this. That's just all.
Very well said. We'll take another story. Protests have continued across Nigeria for the scrapping of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad unit of the Nigerian police. Celebrities and human rights activists have taken to the streets to demand for this cause. In a recent video, convener of the Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, was seen leading a group of protesters to the force headquarters in Abuja. Let's take a look.
about that. We are protesting. It's our right to protest. It's our right to protest.
Encouraging to see all these people come out for this cause. I mean, I love the movement yesterday. Everyone from celebrities to human rights activists, you know, Segun Awoshoyan was on the streets and everywhere. But that particular video cracked me up. You could see that the police was like almost scared of touching Sowore because obviously public sentiment is not in their favor.
They don't want that smoke. They don't want it. I was glad that the Lagos protest was peaceful.
Yeah.
People came out on the streets, said what they had to say, and I hope those voices are heeded. But unfortunately, in Delta, a policeman was killed, a protester was killed in Ugele. That turned violent. That's so sad. May the souls rest in peace.
Well, first, let me start with Sowore. You know, he had been calling on young people to be part of the revolution now, and he's been able to build a momentum. The only person who did not agree with him is Burna Boy. When he called on Burna Boy to join the revolution, Burna Boy said no, doesn't want to do any revolution. He's not a politician. But others heeded his call. But what I don't know is whether by leading this one in Abuja, whether he has not violated the terms of the bill.
Well, I think he can move around in Abuja, correct?
Well, I mean, to go and join protests. But of course, you know, he has chosen to lead the revolution. And I think to a great extent, his message resonated with a lot of young people, or those people you refer to as Generation Z, who came out in Lagos, in Abuja, also in other parts of the country, particularly in Osun State. And what I found remarkable was that the one in Lagos had a lot of celebrities involved. I was shocked when I saw your friend Tiwa Savage and Toke Makiwa joining the revolution.
Everyone.
And Pamela, you know, and then you had Sars the bad guy. You had, as part of the protest also, Wizkid, Davido. Olamide was not in town. He couldn't join. M.I. Abaga.
There was also the guy, the style bender. He just came into town.
Okay.
Yes, we heard that.
There was this musician to World.
Yes.
You know, and some DJs, and all of them, you know, came out. And what I find interesting about that is not just about the EndSARS protest. It's about a younger generation that is angry with Nigeria, with the reality in Nigeria. And if government ignores that, you know, that will be most unfortunate, because in the 50s and 60s in Britain, what they call the British New Wave, look, you had a set of young men becoming angry, and it produced great literature. What was that book again? Look Back in Anger by John Osborne, and then Kingsley Amis, and the whole of that generation. So we have a generation of young Nigerians now who are looking back, and they are angry about the reality. So EndSARS is just a symbol. It's merely representative. Yes, it may lead to creativity within the cultural sector, but the message that they are passing across is that, look, their generation is concerned because it's a generation that is badly served by the Nigerian state. And we saw one example when the police decided to engage Naira Marley. Of course, they managed to bend him. He wanted to lead the protest before, but he didn't join them yesterday. He's now talking of police reform. But there were enough people who came out and said, we're the angry young men of Nigeria, and we want change. And hopefully, government will listen and start with ending SARS, banning SARS.
Really proud of our youth. Rufai.
You know, it has to be said very strongly that people have a right to protest. I think it was Mark Twain, like Professor Usman quoted, that says patriotism is not saying love your country, but support the government when they do well. That's what patriotism is all about. And if we have a problem on ground that we feel the government can fix, then we should protest and speak up about it. Protest everywhere in the world. Change the world. Whatever we even have today as a democracy and the independence we gained as a country was because of the protests. The likes of them, Saldana, Awolowo, and the likes protested against the British to be able to get us the rule we have today, the government of ourselves. So protests are key everywhere, and the government should listen. The government can end SARS in a heartbeat. Let's stop this engagement. We can do it. You can stop SARS in a heartbeat. It can be stopped. Because I ask you very strongly, If he was an elite, somebody of the ruling class that was killed by SARS, do you think the government will sit down and look at this? Very likely. They will end it in a minute. So government must be seen as fair across board. And I'm happy that the young people, the people that have been castigated that they will do nothing, they're armchair critics in their country, these are the people taking the protest out now to say we want a change as regards this. The entertainers that can't drive their Bugattis on the streets because SARS officer will stop them and say they are Yahoo boys, despite the fact that they are #1 on the Billboard charts and they earn millions of dollars from their music. I'm happy they are the ones coming out and doing this. Please, I know there's a room for engagement like they did with Naira Marley. There's also a room to go on the streets. And I must have to sound a note of warning. Peaceful protest like they did. Lagos, I don't know, Lagos is just the center of excellence. They were so organized. Do you know that the protesters had buses that brought them there? They packed the buses, they came out of the buses, FARS mobilized the people, they went to certain areas, protested, they came back in those buses and went back to their various homes peacefully. I love to see more protests in Nigeria.
All right.
Well, that could be interpreted as incitement.
No, it's not incitement. I love to see more positive process as regards social good in Nigeria. And Dr. Abati, it's not incitement. Let me give you an instance. When the terrorists killed people in France, they killed people at the Bataclan, they killed people in other areas of France. President, what's his name now? President Francois Hollande led other world leaders in a protest against terrorism in France.
Well, when I say that could be interpreted as incitement, I was putting it in context because of the way it could be interpreted by those who do not want the kind of progress and change that Nigerians are asking for.
In fact, I'm looking forward to a day where politicians too will join us in this protest and leaders of local government will join us in this protest to end SARS and do what is right. That's just it.
All right. Let's take another story. In Kaduna State, where it's been reported that officials of the Hisbah have banned young women in Chinkun local government area of the state from using or possessing mobile phones and sunglasses. Reports from the residents of the community allege that the Hisbah police have been frustrating the lives of the youth in the community and often carry out severe punishment for moral findings. They claim that sometimes the officials storm houses where ceremonies are taking place and punish playing of music, dancing, and any form of entertainment. The officials ban the young women from using smartphones and sunglasses on the premise that they are used to spread un-Islamic behaviors. Hisbah recently made headlines for shaving off stylish haircuts of young men in Kano, arresting people for improper dressing and seizing their tricycles from riders for adorning pictures considered to be obscene and against the tenets of Islam. I can hear you all cracking up.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I couldn't believe what I was reading. But only like 2 or 3 days ago, there was another circular that went out in Kebbi State, a list of things that were banned. Banned, listen to this, sagging trousers. Another stupid haircut. Listen to this one. Staying out late past 6 p.m. in market to sell goods. What's really going on? Please, can you explain? I don't understand. I mean, why now?
Why anytime? It's completely bonkers. Can we talk about sunglasses?
Yes.
Are sunglasses not an instrument to shield your eyes from the harmful rays of the sun? How is that un-Islamic? It's like saying an umbrella to shield you from the rain is un-Islamic. It's completely bonkers as far as I'm concerned. And you talked about Hisbah. You brought a story about Hisbah the other day. And here we go again with Hisbah.
Yes,
and really, Hisbah should be scrapped. They are backed by law. The Kano State House of Assembly passed Hisbah into law to promote things that are for the good of Islam and what have you, but it's really out of hand at this point. When they see people committing infractions, like you said, like playing music, they actually went into I believe it was a governor's daughter getting married, and they went in and tried to arrest the DJ because he was playing music. They have no powers of arrest. All they're supposed to do is intervene in sort of disputes, find people, spouses, single people, because it's un-Islamic really to be single at a certain age because it promotes, immorality. So they're supposed to help you find a spouse if you want that. They're supposed to, intervene in family squabbles, things like that. They have no right to ban people from wearing sunglasses or anything else. It's ridiculous.
Like you said, it has to be scrapped.
Yes.
Really.
Well, you know, when 12 states of the North decided to adopt Sharia as an orthodoxy for civil law, Hisbah became the fallout of it. But Hisbah was supposed to be an institution that would promote good behavior and check patterns of behavior that are not approved under the Sharia law. But over the years, what we have seen is that the Hisbah has become a religious moral police that promotes religious zealotry, and that in the various states where it operates, it violates the rights of persons, the dignity of persons, in a manner that violates even the integrity of the Constitution, particularly with regard to Chapter 4, which deals with fundamental human rights. Now, the thing to note is that even in Islamic countries, Islamic scholars are divided as to the form of operation of the Hisbah. But the difference here is that in Nigeria, many of the states did not really create the Hisbah board. Many of them adopted it. It started as a volunteer group, and then gradually in some states, they adopted it. In Saudi Arabia, it is called the Commission for the Promotion of Virtue and the Prevention of Vice. They have similar commissions in Pakistan, in Indonesia, in Sudan. But here in Nigeria, it's not organized. And what you find in one state is different from what you find in the other state, almost like a group just attacking innocent people. What is wrong in a girl using a phone? How does a phone promote un-Islamic behavior?
Ridiculous.
This was how Boko Haram started. Because Boko Haram started by saying that Western education is a sin.
Exactly.
Nobody could understand it until the thing mutated and became a major threat to national security.
Yes.
And that's why we need to watch it. This is the second report on Hisbah that you are bringing in a
1
week.
week. Yeah.
However, this particular report that formed the basis of your report, of your story, has been objected to by the governor of Kaduna. He was on Twitter early this morning at Governor Kaduna, and he said that Kaduna State does not have Hisbah police, right? And that this is a story that is based on a false report, you know, from another state. And even the photographs are from another state. So I think that's something we need to look at. However, the story that I read indicated that this was just in one local government.
In the Kaduna state, residents
in one local government. So it may be that the governor himself may not be aware.
Exactly.
So rather than just dismiss the story, he should
do an investigation.
Do an investigation.
Correct.
And try to check it. You know, once as he admits there is no Hisbah police officially supported by the state.
Yes,
this may just be a group of moral police volunteers who are terrorizing people.
Exactly. I like that point. Rufai, I'll take our final story before I come to you. We'll head over to the U.S. President Donald Trump has released a new video claiming that there is a new cure for COVID-19, which he would like to get authorized for immediate use. Speaking on the White House lawn, Trump started the video by addressing his favorite people in the world, the seniors. Let's take a look.
So, to my favorite people in the world, the seniors. I'm a senior. I know you don't know that. Nobody knows that. Maybe you don't have to tell them, but I'm a senior. We are making tremendous progress with this horrible disease that was sent over by China. China will pay a big price for what they did to the world and to us. But we have medicines right now, and I call them a cure. I went into the hospital a week ago. I was very sick, and I took this medicine, and it was incredible. It was incredible. I could have walked out the following day, sooner. It was incredible the impact it had. And we're going to make that and others that are similar to it, almost identical, we're going to make them available immediately. We have an emergency use authorization that I want to get signed immediately. The FDA has moved at a level that they've never moved before. Things that would take 2, 3, 4 years.
This cracked me up, Tundu. But I know that you want to, okay, Rufai, I know you want to make a comment.
I mean, I need to make 2 comments. Number 1, you see, I don't know why you did this, Oji, but you're a very bad woman.
Rufai called me a bad woman.
I'm sorry, I'm going to, let me prove it to you why. You brought Hisbah police and Trump's story together. There's no difference between Trump and Hisbah police.
Tell me about it, Rufai.
There's no difference between Trump and Hisbah police.
No difference at all. Imagine Trump saying this. There is no cure for COVID-19.
Well, maybe he has one. Let's
be
wait.
serious.
He's about to
and concerning the Hisbah police, it's an assault on the eyeglass and phone industry. Do you know how much companies are making from phones? Phone sale and Hisbah police one is an assault on the phone industry and sunglasses industry. You are taking economic viability away from people.
Dr. Bati,
we know where he's going. We know exactly where he's going.
I hope you don't stretch that too much.
I know where it's going.
Anyway, thank you very much,
Thank you,
Oji.
Dr.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Have fun. And that's all on this segment, on this edition, of The Morning Show. Lotus Odiri will be here next to take you through Global Business Report. Stay with us.